Welcome to Sound Bites. I'm your host, Holly Whitfield, Digital Director at the Daily Memphian, here with our producer, Natalie Van Gundy. This week, we have a very special episode, something a little different. I know it's something Natalie and I have talked about and wanted to do for a while, so we are very excited. But first, know that Sound Bites is the Daily Memphian's weekly food, drink, and dining podcast. You can tune in on WYXR Radio every Thursday at 11, or listen wherever you get your podcasts, iTunes, Spotify. You can also listen right on the website at dailymemphian.com. If you are listening on WYXR Radio, up next, you can hear the Sidebar podcast with Eric Barnes. This week, he's interviewing the founder of Vintage 901 Wine Festival, Stephanie Ferreira, so be sure to stay tuned into that. But let's get started, Natalie. We have invited Daily Memphian staffers to share their opinions on Memphis food, to give us their recommendations, and share their flaming, fiery, hot takes.
Yes. Some were lukewarm. One was cold.
Yes. This is something that came out of regular host Chris Harrington, Natalie, and myself just talking, because usually every week, Chris and I, and sometimes Natalie, go through our recent meals, like Memphis food shout-outs at the top of Sound Bites.
It's my favorite part of the pod.
It's so fun. It's very current, and we can just chat. And this conversation has spilled over at some point into the newsroom.
And I think getting them on this podcast, including the newsroom, is also a good way to let people get to know our newsroom and then give them an opportunity to share their opinions, because they do have them, even though they're not on the pod every week like we are.
Exactly. I always want people to know, like, these are the actual human beings behind the website. We are people over here.
Real people, and words matter, and we have opinions.
Exactly. So to start out this week, we have our Metro editor, Jane Donahoe. We have digital producer, Kelsey Bowen. And we have Metro reporter, Bill Dries, going through pretty quick interviews, quick questions, comments, and I hope you enjoy. Now we are here with Jane Donahoe. She is our fearless Metro editor, guiding our, of course, Metro government, public safety, educational coverage, and more. Fearless. She also has great casual, effortless fashion. Natalie and I were just talking about that. And she was born on Leap Day. Let's add to the fun facts. Jane, what is the one thing you have to have in the office, in the newsroom?
A giant water bottle full of ice cold water is never far from my hand.
A hydrated editor queen. Here we are.
A Stanley girly.
A Stanley. The one today is a light blush pink Stanley.
Although I'm transitioning to the Owala. I think I might like it more, but
What's the pro?
I'm trying it out.
Yeah.
The pro is the straw doesn't stick so far up out of the cup. It's within the cup.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will report back on that in a couple of weeks, and I'm not even joking. Let's get into it. So you and I shared some fun lunches when we were based downtown. I don't think we went everywhere together, though. What was your favorite lunch order when we had our office down there?
Well, it came late to the party, but Hive Bagel opened not too terribly long ago downtown, and that was definitely my favorite go-to down there. They had a breakfast bagel sandwich that you could get at any hour of the day, which is great, and then like a turkey bagel sandwich that was really good too.
Have cheese on it?
I believe there was cream cheese.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds great. Okay. On the lunch train, now we're here in Clark Tower. I know that you've tried most of the places in this area. Which ones are you looking forward to eating at more now that we're here all the time?
Okay, well, I have already been to City Silo. It's one of my favorite places in town.
What's the order?
The order is either they get in the chopper, salad, or the Sunshine Burrito bowl. So, like, essentially the Sunshine Burrito, but without the burrito.
Got it. What is something that's in the chopper salad? Do you know?
It's like sort of a Tex-Mex kind of vibe.
That sounds good. Okay, we've talked about lunch, but which is your favorite meal of the day?
Breakfast.
Breakfast.
For sure. Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
Because of eggs.
Because of eggs.
Because of eggs.
What is your ideal egg order?
Oh, man. I like them every way.
Okay.
Every way.
This morning, did you have eggs?
No. But I wish I had eggs this morning.
And what kind do you wish you would have had this morning?
I was kind of running this morning, so a hard-boiled egg would have been really great this morning.
You put hot sauce on that?
No, salt and pepper.
All right. There we have it. Eggs for breakfast. Okay, so we're kind of combining two questions together because we talked about this. I'm asking our Daily Memphian staffers the best meal they've had in Memphis in the last 6 months.
I have an answer for that.
Okay, go for it. Also could be a good date night, maybe. So
Yes. Well, it could be both.
Yes.
I went with a couple of my girlfriends, and we had the scallops at Bari. And I mean, I'd had them before, but they were next level. I mean, it was really, really, really exceptional.
What else did you have while you were at Bari?
We had, let's see. Well, we ordered like some cheeses and some meats. I don't know all the specific terms of that, but
No one does. You just go in there and
you
you're
just
like,
say, hey, bring me some really delicious salty cheese and cured meat, and
They
I'm
do
gonna
it.
be super happy, and they do it. And then we had beets that were really good. They were hot, like they were cooked hot,
Yeah.
which was a little bit different than I'm used to getting beets in a restaurant. Usually they're
chilled. Yeah.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed those too.
They have great cocktails there too. I'll just throw that out there. And wine, of course. What is the most underrated food in town? A place that doesn't get all the hype?
For me,
Yes.
it is Casablanca. And I think everybody who knows me would know that I would say that because there's one in Midtown, there's one out here by Clark Tower. I think it's more approachable than people realize. Like, I'll
Yeah.
take all of my children in there and they all love it too. It's not, and they don't have to get the chicken tenders. Like, it's just really good.
What do you order there?
Usually falafel and
Yeah.
hummus. Shawarma, like any kinds of, they have chicken shawarma, they have beef and lamb shawarma, some manner of those things. Pretty standard, but like not totally standard, right? I mean, there aren't that many restaurants that serve that in town.
And
I
their
agree.
tea is delicious.
And their tea is delicious.
Yes. Really good. Hot or cold.
Hot.
Their tea is great.
Definitely hot for me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's tasty. Memphis food hot take.
I think I would really love to see more Mexican restaurants in Memphis, like a bigger variety of Mexican restaurants in Memphis. I mean, I feel like we definitely have the box checked in terms of just fast casual or super casual, right? But, leveling up a notch in terms of the options would be great. Like El Miro is one of my favorite places to eat. I just don't find myself out in that part of the city very often.
Yeah.
So
out in
like,
Cordova, kind of.
yeah.
I'm with you on that. All right. Thank you, Jane.
Thank you.
Kelsey Bowen is a digital producer, making sure our stories, our photos, our emails, our phone notifications, all of that good stuff are reaching our Daily Memphian readers. She studied writing at the University of Memphis. She has also been honing her graphic skills and released a big project a few weeks ago. Hi, Kelsey. Tell us about your project.
Hi, Holly. I got the great chance to work with our beautiful sports team and dissect a really kind of ugly season for the Memphis Grizzlies. Injury filled, and we kind of dug into the stats behind who was injured and how long they were injured and how many games they missed and how many players played for the Grizzlies, and even Steven Adams, who didn't actually play for the Grizzlies this season. And we got to wrap it all up Spotify style in cute little graphics, and I think it turned out really fun.
I agree. It turned out great. We're just going to go right into the food stuff, though. Now that we are here in East Memphis, where are you having lunch? Or where do you want to have lunch?
I am a Casablanca girl through
Ooh.
and through.
Mm.
I don't know, maybe not for lunch because I am always getting the mixed shawarma platter,
Okay.
which I think can feed two.
Yes.
And I'll bring it home to my roommate when I feel like being nice to her. And I have to get an iced tea, duh. And
You are not the only person.
I'm not the only person. That's not a hot take.
Let's talk about this.
But that is my order, and now we are literally just one single walk away from it. I'm so excited.
That's great. I didn't even know they were open for lunch, honestly. But you also work in the afternoons and evenings. So
Yes, I guess my lunch is like, 4 p.m.
Yes, love a 4 p.m. lunch, actually. Speaking of that, what is your favorite meal of the day? Like breakfast, brunch, lunch, dinner?
I'm probably going to say dinner. I guess this could be a hot take. I don't like breakfast.
Okay.
I don't love breakfast food. It's not, I know people are like, let's have breakfast for dinner. Never in my house. I have to
Do not bring it up.
Don't bring it up. It's not allowed. I have to force myself to eat something for breakfast. So I'm more of a dinner girl. I like the whole, glitz and glam behind making dinner for people and having people over. We're going to have dinner with candles. And that's where I want to be.
I love that. Did you have a dinner party in the last sometime, or did you go to a dinner party?
Oh, I've been to a bunch of dinner parties. I've been to double back-to-back murder mystery dinner parties, which was kind of crazy. I had never been to one, and then I got invited to two back-to-back earlier this year.
Were the menus themed for the mysteries?
They weren't themed. Okay, one was Memphis Pizza Cafe.
Love it.
Love it.
That has also come up several times in our mini interviews.
Yeah. And the other was at Bon Terre, the restaurant there.
Oh.
And so that was really nice. We got the little a little house that we got to hang out in, the clubhouse.
Oh.
And that's where the murder unfolded.
Oh.
It got pretty nasty.
Okay. Well, that's great. Okay. Now we're going to go right into, I don't know if it's a hot take as much as it is. You've discovered a solution to a culinary scene problem, I'm calling it. You got a group of friends, group of girlfriends, friends, any friends group, and you need a place to get together and dish and debrief.
Right.
So you're going to explain the need, the problem, and your solution.
Yes.
Go.
So let's say, I'll give you an example. Let's say your girlfriend just went on a first date and you need to know every single detail, what happened from beginning to end, and we need to have it over drinks and dinner. But it's Thursday, I don't know, time is awkward. You're going to go to the Las Delicias, Losty, on Quince, and you're going to sit out on the patio and order a pitcher margarita, iced, over on the rocks.
Yes.
Not slushed, in my personal opinion. And you're going to just absolutely walk us through the whole date. And we're going to talk about it. And we're going to have a little therapy session with your girlfriends under the twinkling string lights out there. And it's going to be amazing. I think the patio is so underrated. Not enough people go there. Not enough young people go there. Sometimes I feel like we're the youngest people out there, and I just need more people to recognize. The service is great. The food is reasonably priced, and it's gonna fulfill that need there.
This sounds so perfect.
It's perfect.
I want to go over there right now.
Right. I kind of want to go right now.
What is your Lost D food order?
Ooh, okay, great question. I am a big fan of the Cuban.
Ooh.
I love a Cuban.
Natalie over here is making large hand gestures to show her approval of the Cuban.
I think Natalie and I are going to actually head out after this. We're going to go to Lost D, and we're going to have Cubans and split a cheese dip, maybe some guacamole. Depends on, I guess, how bad the date was.
Yeah.
A picture, maybe two. And we're going to have a great time. Especially now that spring and summer is coming up. It's getting a little warmer outside. It's so nice to be outside.
It is. Okay. But it needs to be the Quince location.
Yes.
Not the Park Avenue location.
Park Avenue is great. Sometimes I think it's a little too busy. The Quince is the only one with the patio. So that's where my love falls.
I do love the U of M area.
Yes.
Las Delicias. Good for the
so
students.
good.
But you're right. It is like busy and crowded. You may not want to camp out
Right.
for your
Right.
the dishing, the debriefing.
Right.
there.
And I bet there's a lot of debriefing going on right over there by
Yeah.
the U of M.
Yeah, exactly. So they need to go over to Quince and get it together. Okay, that's amazing. We have time for one more question. Best meal you've had in Memphis in the last 6 months. It actually doesn't have to be a restaurant. It could be someone who made it here, but either way.
I'm thinking specifically of when I went and had Good Fortune, the tofu, now I can't remember what it's called. The tofu coconut curry.
Yeah.
With the spice bomb. And it was during our like frost week when all the roads had frozen over, like right at the tail end. Actually, it was the night of the Justin Timberlake concert.
Oh, yes.
So, and we were right there next to the Orpheum. We should have walked over and
Walked in
seen
the
if
door.
we can sneak in, but we didn't. But I had the coconut curry with the spice bomb. It was delicious, exactly what you needed on that really cold day to de-thaw. And I hadn't seen my friends. I guess it was kind of a debrief. Here I am again. Here I go again. But it was kind of a debrief with my friends who I hadn't seen because we had been iced away from each other.
Well,
But it was delicious.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. For some reason, I knew you were going to say Good Fortune.
I kind of am obsessed with Good Fortune.
They're a good one. Okay. Thank you so much, Kelsey.
Thank you.
You've given us a lot to think about
Chew it
and
over.
want to go eat. Yes.
Yeah.
You're listening to the Daily Memphian's Sound Bites podcast with me, Holly Whitfield. Today, we are talking with different Daily Memphian staffers and our producer, Natalie Van Gundy, with some Memphis food opinions and hot takes. If you're tuning in on WYXR, keep listening for the sidebar with Eric Barnes and his guest, Stephanie Ferreira of Vintage 901 Wine Festival after this. If you are listening through your podcast app, be sure to subscribe and take a little moment and leave us a nice review. That would be much appreciated.
Or if it's slightly critical, whatever. I'm reading them though, and I'm taking in the information. So just leave a review, give us your feedback.
Yeah, tell us what you think about this special format. We may try it again, but we want to know what you think about it. Daily Memphian also has several other podcasts besides Sidebar and Sound Bites, sports podcasts, Behind the Headlines, lots of good stuff. So make sure you take a look at those. We are here with Bill Dries. He is our city and county government reporter, but he is so much more. I feel like, Bill, you're our resident historian. You're Mr. Congeniality in the newsroom. That's what I would say. How long have you been a reporter?
I have been a reporter for 48 years.
Congratulations. That's amazing. We are going to go right into talking about Memphis food. I have heard you with your hot takes on everything, but definitely on food. So let's go right into that. What is your Memphis food hot take?
My Memphis food hot take is that it is very hard to be a part of the food conversation because our food scene is so sophisticated and deceptively so. The stereotype is we're a barbecue town. We all know, I think, especially the regular listeners who are really into food, that the Memphis food scene is much more than that, so much more than that. In fact, saying that Memphis is a barbecue town without going further is just frankly it's an insult to what's going on here. The other thing is probably I have a bit of an inferiority complex, and I think people who are what I call meat and potatoes Memphians probably do about having food discussions because the perception, I think, among many of us is my diet is so basic. I'm kind of scared of experimental types of foods. And so it's hard to find an entry point into the conversation. But we're remedying that now, aren't we?
We definitely are. 48 years reporting. A lot of that's been downtown until recently. Our office was downtown. What were some of your favorite, like your top one or two favorite lunch spots downtown?
The one that I miss the most is the Blue Plate Cafe that was in Court Square.
Right. What did you order there?
I usually went for scrambled eggs and sausage. I told you, meat and potatoes.
Love it.
Every once in a while, I would go for a waffle with sausage.
Nice.
There's got to be meat included in it. But I really miss having that place on Court Square. And I think there needs to be something to go in Court Square in the place of it.
Something for breakfast or breakfast for lunch that people need.
Yeah.
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 So now we're in Clark Tower. We're in East Memphis. What is a lunch spot in this area that either you've tried and loved or that you're about to try next?
The one that I love is Belmont Grill.
What do you get at Belmont Grill?
Maybe the club sandwich and some fries. Every once in a while, a hamburger.
I hear they have really good burgers. They never made it onto my list, but they had that reputation always.
Well, the thing I like, most of the food places that I like are also because of the atmosphere. The Belmont is the darkest restaurant you will probably ever dine in. I have actually been in the Belmont, seated at a table, kind of in the middle, and actually heard one person I knew on one side and one person I knew on the other side. Not only were they unaware of each other being there because they knew each other, they were unaware that I was there, and I managed to leave without alerting or tipping either one of them off.
Wow. So if you're looking for a place to eat in the dark under the radar, Belmont Grill.
That is your place.
Okay. What is the best meal that you've had in Memphis in the last 6 months?
Last 6 months, probably the Bandit Breakfast at Mama's, which is the place on Crump at Kentucky. It's been there a while. It was in the planning stages forever. I don't quite know what that was all about. It took them a while to get open, probably the pandemic.
Probably.
But I've just recently discovered them. It looks from the outside like it would take like 5 people to pack the place, but that's not the case. It's kind of deceptive. There's more room there than you probably think just by driving by. And there are times when they probably are packed, but I probably avoid places when there's a lot of people there.
And for listeners, you live downtown, so this Mama's place is kind of in your neighborhood.
It's right around the corner from where I am.
What is on the Bandit breakfast platter?
Scrambled eggs, sausage, hash browns, biscuit or toast. Again, meat and potatoes.
When it's well done, though. That's great. I have one more question for you. Where do you think has the most underrated food in town?
Definitely Whitehaven.
Yeah.
Yes. Whitehaven has become, in very short order, a very vital part of the city's restaurant industry, the city's food scene, if you will. There are some people doing amazing things in very unlikely settings along Elvis Presley Boulevard. I go back to maybe 10, 20 years ago. People in Whitehaven were fighting just to keep a Red Lobster on Elvis Presley Boulevard. You look at it now, it's quite a different scene. There are a lot of good ideas along Elvis Presley Boulevard in Whitehaven.
You got a restaurant or two you want to shout out?
Exactly, the breakfast place.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Exactly is the one I want to shout out. You need to go out on Elvis Presley Boulevard one weekend morning and discover not only the food and some of the innovative ideas, but just the whole thing of Whitehaven's community getting the day started on the weekends, because there's stuff everywhere, from high school car washes to cleanup campaigns to, meetings going on. It's a wonderful place.
Well, thank you, Bill. That was an amazing rundown of Memphis food and your own hot takes. Maybe we'll have you back to talk more about meat and potatoes. All right, we're coming to the end of our day. I am sitting here with Natalie Van Gundy. What did you think about some of those hot takes?
Okay, well, like, I don't know if you said this before or not, but this is just round 1 of the hot takes. We have more hot takes coming in future episodes. For round 1, I really enjoyed it. Some differing opinions, some that were similar. I like how Jane and Kelsey both had a shout out for Casablanca, which is just over yonder. You can't see me. I'm pointing. It's that direction. They both like going there in this area. And I think maybe I mentioned tea in the background when Jane was talking, but Kelsey mentioned it on her own. She likes the tea at Casablanca.
We didn't plan that.
We didn't plan it. It just worked out that way. And in fact, we should tell people we did not share answers with people who were, like, no one knew what else everyone was going to say.
Yes.
I'm saying that in a very weird way, but you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying. Nobody knew what the other people were talking about. Sometimes
Except for us.
Except for us. Nobody knew what the questions were going to be except for a couple of hints. So it's all very real deal organic.
And some of these questions were spontaneous.
Yes.
Came up on the fly. I thought it was really fun. And I really liked, I think I told you this before we started rolling, how when we asked Bill where an underrated place was, I was expecting someone to say a place, like a specific restaurant. And he came out and said Whitehaven. And I was like, that's not what we meant, but that's the perfect Bill Drees response to that question. And it was so good.
I mean, they have Whitehaven Black Restaurant Week now.
Yeah.
He's right.
He is right.
He's exactly right. Of course he is.
When is he ever not right?
When is he ever not right? Bill is eternity symbol, always right. He also talked about Mama's, and I wanted to throw in some information about that place. So Mama's is off of Crump, downtown, right before you go into Arkansas, and they were faced with a lot of the road construction going on over there.
Yeah.
But several years ago, this is the location, if you knew, of Dirty Crow Inn.
But people loved it.
People loved it. They loved the wings. Dirty Crow closed. Mama's open. Mama's is owned by the same group that does Slider Inn, Bar Dog, Aldo's. And they were open for a while. They call it a trucker-themed bar. I don't really know what that theme entails, but I think when you go there...
Maybe the location.
It's the location. They do have truckers coming in there.
Yeah. How could you not?
But during the COVID situation, they shut down. They took the opportunity to totally renovate and revamp. And it's pretty nice in there. They've got a big covered patio, and I think that's what Bill's talking about when he said it's deceptively large on the inside. So I just wanted to give people a little more information about Mama's. I don't think we've talked about it too much on the pod. Any other feedback from you?
A take on a take. I love what Kelsey said about the Los Delicious on Quince, because those are my stomping grounds. I love Lost D. Love the chips. The patio is so cute. She's right.
She's right.
Even though I live right there, I forget about it all the time. And with this wonderful weather, for the most part, we should be on that patio.
All right. Well, let's go now. That's the end of this. We will have more fun food thoughts coming from Daily Memphian staffers in the coming weeks. You can tune in to this show on WYXR every Thursday at 11. Listen wherever you get your podcasts, or at dailymemphian.com. Thanks to all of our staffers, to Jane, to Bill, to Kelsey, for taking time out of their busy day to talk to us. And thank you for listening.
We'll have more hot takes for you next week.